So during all of my research, trying to make this channel, somewhat worthy of your viewing, I've come across a lot of different lessons that we have learned and can learn from prior retirees. So these are a few I'd like to highlight that I think are some of the biggest ones and most impactful to me so far, because they've made me change my direction on a few things. So the first one, I'm going to lay this out in like three different priorities. So under financial, one of the things that I heard from almost every one of the people that retired that were doing well, and these are people that I've worked with and people that I'm planning to retire with at the same time next year, and folks that have been retired for a while. So, a couple dozen people at least. I'm going to say 30 to 50 maybe. Anyway, the number one priority they all said was get out of debt. And they emphasized specifically get out of high interest debt, especially credit cards. It's amazing how many people don't pay off their credit cards month to month. And I was that way for a very long time as well, because getting to a financial maturity position, everybody ages at a different rate when it comes to that. So whenever you get there, you finally realize, wow, I've been wasting all this money on interest. It's time to start paying these off and never let them go up again. Never have a month where you cannot pay off the balance. If that happens, it better be a life emergency or something else catastrophic has happened, okay? Otherwise, get rid of that high interest debt and never have it again. All right, secondly, under financial things is that plan on being flexible. And we have to say that every time for everything, because interest rates change, inflation rates change, cost of living changes. You don't know for sure what it's going to take and what it's going to be. So you have to be prepared financially to be flexible and to live within your means and know how to redirect your money toward the things that are important at the time. Okay. And along with that, my third point with financial is to understand the value of having an HSA. If you don't have one, plan on saving specifically for that to go into retirement. But if you do have one, you need to be maximizing it every year, because you get to take that money with you forever. It's there for life until you spend it on the things that are allowed and approved to be spent on for healthcare expenses. So they are irreplaceable when it comes to being on a fixed income and having medical bills. And as we age, we're all going to have medical bills, plain and simple. I tend to hit my out-of-pocket limit just about every year, mostly because I have pre-existing heart conditions and pacemaker and etc. We all have reasons why our health is bad or can be bad, and these things cost money, and they're not going to get any cheaper when you're on a fixed income. All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about socially. What's your life look like socially? And I think the strongest lesson I got from this, from especially a couple of my very good friends that were good work friends, said that you need to have strong relationships outside of work, because everybody you've worked with may still be working. He retired a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, one of them. And he said, you and I don't see each other anymore. We chat here and there on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But otherwise, it's not like we get together and hang out. So if you don't have those friends outside of work, you need to find some people with similar interests and be prepared for that, because retirement can be, from the sounds of it from others, very lonely without things to do and friends to do them with. My wife and I is my best friend, and I believe that she feels the same. Yes, we spend a lot of time together when we're out together, and when I retire, we'll be together full time. And if you're new here, my wife lives in Florida right now. That's where I'm going to retire. I retire next June or July, depending on when the paperwork is right. So I look forward to every minute I spend with her, because we're apart for 3 weeks or more at a time. So have good relationships outside of work so that you have people to hang around with that have similar interests. The second thing, and I believe this wholeheartedly, is to have chosen your retirement location wisely. Choose it based on your lifestyle, your activities, the things you love to do. A lot of people get mixed up with, say, thinking that where they vacationed every year is where they want to live every year. And it's funny because when we were planning to move to Florida, everybody told us the same thing. Well, just because you love it there on vacation doesn't mean you'll love it there, to have to work in life and have, take every day of your life in Florida. Well, it just so happens we do. We loved every minute of it, and we've loved every minute of the year and a half that my wife has been there now. And every visit I go, I love every minute of it. Yes, it's kind of a vacation when I go to visit, but I still call it home and cannot wait to get back. Those things matter. Where your life makes you happy matter. So I think a lot of folks get frozen where they live because that's where everything they know is, and change is hard. But if you don't want to live in the cold, as you notice today, I'm bundled up and there's snow in my background over here. We had our first taste of snow in northern Illinois. It's cold out today. I'm leaving work. It's 35 degrees out. This morning when I went to work, it was 22, and the feels like temperature was 10. I don't like the cold weather. I am glad to be done with it. So think about those things when you decide where you're going to live and where you're going to retire full time, because you can always visit friends and family. It doesn't mean you have to move 1,200 miles away. Maybe you just want to go someplace where the warmer months are longer than the cold months. Something to consider. All right, let's move on again. This is section 3, I guess you could call it. This is the things I consider your daily habits that you need to have and develop. I think mostly just to keep your sanity. So first off is to be positive about your life. Be thankful, have gratitude, and hang around with people that are positive. This world is full of negative. You can spend a lot of your time soaked up in negativity listening to the news. It's ridiculous. You need to have positive impacts in your life and people that make you feel good to be around, and activities that you enjoy doing that make you happy. Find those things and focus on them. That's number 1. Number 2, be prepared to adapt your spending to match your lifestyle and your budget. And I know this sounds like it should be up there with financials, but so many people think that when they get retired, they're going to do all these activities, and then they realize, oh my gosh, this stuff is expensive, especially on a fixed income. I loved to play golf when I played, but when you're talking $60 to $80 a round, sometimes $100 or more, it can be very expensive to golf a few times a week. There's lots of ways to make it more affordable, but the point is that habits and activities are expensive. So be prepared to live within your fixed budget. All right. And finally, and I believe really this is kind of the biggest of this last section, and that is to stay busy physically and mentally. Your body needs to move. And this is an old saying, it's not mine, but a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. And it is true. People that go home on retirement and sit in a chair and watch TV have very inactive lives, end up having a very short retirement or a very horrible retirement because they can't do anything. And what fun is that? What kind of a retirement did you work your whole life for if that's the way it's going to be? Believe me, there's nothing on TV that's good enough that I want to sit there all day and watch it. Okay? And so find activities that you enjoy: walking, golfing, pickleball, hiking, tennis, whatever it might be. Find something physically active to do every day. And then mentally, you need to be keeping your mind sharp too, because otherwise, dementia creeps up on everybody in one form or another, whether you're full-blown, have Alzheimer's, or if it's just, mentally not as sharp as you used to be because you don't keep an active mind. And of course, the best things you can do with that would be puzzles and reading and crosswords and different types of games like that, and game nights with your older friends that you now have, hopefully with some similar hobbies, playing Trivial Pursuit or something that you enjoy. But you got to challenge yourself physically and mentally every day in one form or another. Right now, you're relying on work possibly to keep you physically and mentally challenged. But when that goes away, you've got not much left to work with. Okay? We got to stay sharp, folks. Okay? Retirement is supposed to be one of the best times of your life. You've worked all of it to get to this point. Make sure you get there healthy and strong and ready to go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.